Well. Of course, I got your text message. And before I go any further, I want to just say all names have been changed in this presentation, all right? All names have changed. Secondly, as a public disclaimer, I do not support any kind of criminal activity whatsoever. Now let's get into this. So this morning I got this text. It was a crazy text. I dug it. It was real sweet, really respectful. And when I read it, I kept saying to myself over and over, you know what? I want to do something right. I want to do it in terms of my response. I want it to be something that was really apropos. So I sat down and thought. I thought hard. I can move with a great plan. I hope you like it. So let me start off by reading this inspiring text. Again, all names have been changed to protect the innocent and basically to solidify confidentiality. This is the text I got. When you're ready to talk, you can call me. I'm not doing the back and forth texting about the same conversation you keep having. You obviously have a problem with my life and the way it's going. I didn't ask you to come into my life. You decided that on your own. I didn't ask you for money. You gave that to me on your own. I never told you I wanted to be in a relationship. That type of shit takes time for a woman like me. I'm sorry you have dealt with chaos and bullshit with your other females you gave your time to, but that has nothing to do with me. You don't give me an ultimatum on how to be with you, because then it'll be fake. So with all that being said, you can either call me or I'll take your silence as good. You can either call me or I'll take your silence as you're good. Let me try one more time. Or I'll take your silence as being that you're good off me completely. No bad blood, it's all peace over here. Well, honey. Now I appreciate that text. It takes tell me a lot. So I figured I'd respond to it in the most apropos way possible. So here we go. For the record, I'm going to refer to this person that I'm in love with as my beloved. If I ever talk about her, she's going to be called my beloved. All right, here we go. First and foremost, time does not exist. It's a mental construct between people, societies, cultures, etc. That's why you can go into the park and be playing and time flies. Or you can sit in a class and be bored and time stands still. Because time does not exist. It's a mental construct. Understand that. With that being the case, we're going to move into the next 3 points. These are 3 principles, incredible principles. The first one is, I'm at a meeting one day with a financial planner, my financial planner. And for whatever the reasons are, he was the #1 financial planner in America. Well, as I'm sitting there talking with him, we're talking, and he went to have a business meeting at a restaurant. So we're sitting there, we're talking. He started the meeting off. So I asked him, I said, can you write off a hot tub, like a jacuzzi? Can you write that off? Excuse me. I said, can you write that off? He says, well, and as he's talking, the waiter's approaching his table, right? So by the time the waiter gets there, this is where he interrupted. He says, yeah, you can write that off. All you have to do is go to a physician and get a document that you need something for your back. Backs can never be proven. And all you got to do is go ahead and write it up, and they'll write it off for you 100%. You can definitely write off a hot tub. The waiter says, I'm an accounting student, been studying for over 3 years, and you can't write off a hot tub. That's a luxury item. That is not a medical facility type of thing. So the financial planner didn't say nothing about it. He said, okay, thank you. So when he walked away, when the waiter walked away, right, I asked him, I said, so how come you didn't correct that guy if he was wrong? He said, well, I didn't correct him because by the time we're finished eating here, excuse me, he said, by the time we're finished eating here and we walk out the door, I'm walking out the #1 financial planner in America. And he's staying in as the waiter who just served the #1 financial planner in America. So it didn't make sense to correct him because it's not going to change his life. That would have been a waste of energy for me to correct him. Okay, that's principle #1. People who know things don't always share with those that they feel are not worthy of the knowledge or education. Understand that. Number two, I was an assistant social worker at a facility in New York called Help Bronx. It was a transitional housing facility for women of domestic violence or women that really needed help. So I'm sitting there doing intake one day, and this lady came in. She had two daughters with her. One was 3, one was 6. And she's in there, she's talking. We're going through the paperwork, and the little girl says, "Mommy, that little boy over there has some M&Ms. I want some of those. Can I have some M&Ms?" She said, "I don't have any money on me, but what I can do is, let me do this. Go over there, put your fingers in his head, and if he smiles, just stick your hand out." The girl says, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead. I'm watching you." The little girl goes over there, puts her finger in the boy's hair, introduces herself, and sticks her hand out when he starts smiling. The little boy gave her some M&Ms. She came back. She was she felt very accomplished because she received some advice from a person she trusted, she loved, she depended on, she had experience with, she had history with, and it seemed to have worked. Okay, number 3, respect. And this is going to be a good story. Again, I don't solicit, I don't encourage or endorse any kind of criminal activity. I'm just going to talk hypothetically, right? So, let's say there was a time when, this is kind of funny. Let's say there was a time when I might have been busy in New York, and there was a man named Houdini. Houdini was a great magician, right? He was known around the world. You can look him up, Google him. Houdini was a man who made things disappear, like elephants, he made them disappear. He would make armored cars disappear. He would make people disappear, all right? Literally, Houdini. Excellent man. So we also had a Houdini in certain organizations that made things and people disappear. So one day I get a call from my chief. And my chief says, "Yeah, I need you to come out of the house. I'm sending somebody to pick you up." It was his right-hand man he was sending, right? So I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking there might be a problem, something might be wrong, like should I wear a vest, should I bring guns? I mean, I don't know what's going on, right? So, when his man comes in, he pulls up, comes in, we get in the car, we're driving to the chief's house, and he says, "Listen, whatever you do not look at his wife." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Don't check her out, man. Whatever you do, don't do that." I said, "All right." He said, "No, you don't understand what I'm saying. People have disappeared from checking out his wife. He's in love with that woman, man. Whatever you do not do that. Don't do it." I'm like, "All right, cool. Now, Houdini was his right-hand man. All right, cool. So I get to the house. Me and my man, because I got a man with me too. I always keep somebody with me. So we get to the house, we walk in, we greet each other at the door. "Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, Chief?" Chief says, "What's up? So we go into his den to talk business. While we're in the den talking business, his wife comes in, "Hey, do y'all need anything?" "No, I'm good. I don't want nothing. I don't want no cake, no coffee, no drink, no punch. I don't want nothing, man." But I'm saying it to her as I'm looking this way. She's over there, but I'm looking this way. So she says, "Okay." So the husband said, the chief says, "Yeah, give me a Coke." She comes in with the Coke and a placemat, like a doily, so you can put your Coke on and don't leave it stain on the table. And she comes in, she drops the doily in front of us, right? This lady bends over without bending her knees. She bends over without bending her knees. And when she does that, she picks it up off the floor. But when she does that, I'm looking at the ceiling there, right? I'm counting every square on the ceiling, I'm looking at the ceiling until I heard the door close. Before she walked out, I didn't take my eyes off the ceiling. So the chief says, "What do you about the ceiling?" I said, "Yeah, you got 1,015 squares on the ceiling." He says, "You're very smart." We start laughing. He's laughing because, "Hey, I passed the test." I'm laughing because I passed the test. Principle. The third thing is understanding the principles that we just shared. The first one, financial planner. Do not waste your time investing into somebody's education that does not want to learn. Like, you ever go to school and there were some kids that was just a class clown and teacher refused to teach you, that you had to get out of my class because you don't want to learn. That's number one. Don't waste your time investing into people who do not want to learn. The second thing is always, always, always respect anybody who can bring you a benefit or a consequence. The chief could bring consequences. Several people have disappeared from looking at his wife. That's just a fact. Okay, this is the third principle. I was married and I had just bought a car, right? I had a nice car. But my wife said she wanted a car, so I bought her a car. So when I bought her the car, it's kind of funny. I bought her the car, I'm coming home, and God says, don't give her the keys tomorrow. Tomorrow was Sunday. We were going to church. He says, don't give her the keys tomorrow. It's okay. Don't know why. Didn't have to know why. I just know his voice. So I walk in the house, I hear her on the phone. Yeah, I'll pick her up around 10 o'clock, all right? See you later, girl. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on tomorrow. I'm supposed to go to church tomorrow, but I ain't saying nothing about it. It's all right. So around 11 o'clock that night, I'm like, yeah, it's 11 o'clock, 11:30. Yo, we need to get some rest, man. We gotta go to church tomorrow. She goes, yeah, well, I'm not going to church tomorrow. I said, why not? She said, I'm hanging out with so-and-so. I said, well, why is that? She's going through some stuff. She just want to hang out and, we're going to smoke a little bit. Smoke a little bit. Yeah, we'll smoke some weed. That's it. And then I'll pick you up. Matter of fact, I'll drop you off at church, and then I'll pick you up from church. Like, nah, you're not getting the keys. Stop playing so much. You go to sleep. The next morning, I'm up early. I'm ironing my clothes, right? I'm at the ironing board. So she gets up, goes to the bathroom, she comes out, she's dressed. She's like, okay, let me get the keys. I say, nah, I'm not giving you the keys. She didn't know God told me don't give her the keys. But I'm like, nah, I'm not giving you the keys. So she says, no, stop playing with me. Give me the keys, man. I'm like, nah, I'm not giving you the keys. She grabs the iron that was on the iron board, hits me in the temple right here, right? I'm bleeding now. Give me the damn keys. Like, nah, I'm not giving you the keys. You had a fan that was on the floor, one of those fans that circle the room and everything, give you air. She hit me in the mouth with the fan, right? So I'm sitting there bugging out. I'm like, what's going on? I'm trying to understand, what's this really all about? Now here's the funniest thing. That's not the lesson. That's not the lesson. My neighbors heard what was going on. My neighbor called the police. The police got there, right? The house is wrecked. I'm bleeding. My lip is swollen. She's like, what happened? I said, I don't know. I woke up and I don't know what happened. I was just out of my clothes. I don't know what happened. Because I'm going to file a police report because it looked like something's going on. I said, you can do that, but I don't know what happened. So when he did that, I ended up getting a case as the plaintiff, as the victim. I get a case. So I'm standing in front of the judge. I'm like, yeah, I went to the judge only tell her I want to drop the case. I'm not pressing charges because there's other ways to deal with it if I had to. I didn't want to. I love the woman, right? So I said, how you doing, Your Honor? How can I, what's going on? She goes, well, what happened? And I'm thinking, you got the police report in front of you, right? So I'm like, you know what happened. So I'm saying, I ain't doing nothing wrong and there was no issue. I just want to go home. Just want to dismiss this case. She goes, hey, you understand? I don't know what you went through this morning, but you're going to watch how you talk to me. Because if you ever disrespect me again, I will lock you up for 90 days minimum for contempt of court. Understand that. Bailiff, the bailiff came over. That's the guy who has the gun and handcuffs. So he comes over and I'm like, Not to mention, I'm in a courtroom that only has doorknobs from the outside. You can't get out from the inside. There is no doorknob on the inside. So I'm like, oh damn. So I started I had to look around like, there's a consequence here if I disrespect this lady. I don't have to agree with her. I don't have to like her. But if I disrespect her, she's locking me down for 90 days. Principle there. Respect. Because there can be a benefit or a consequence in disrespect. Understand that. Okay, let's get into the principles. The first thing on the table is this. There's levels to manhood. There are levels to manhood. Let me tell you the first level. The first level is being a square. A square is a person who pays their taxes. They never jaywalk. They always do the right thing. They go to work 9 to 5, and that's their life. They don't smoke weed. They don't sniff coke. They don't try to move fast. They don't make no fast money. All they do, they just are good, loyal followers. That's their job. That's what they do. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to buy sneakers from a thug. I don't want to go to Foot Locker and have a hustler come and try to sell me some Nikes. You know what I mean? Some Nikes. No, I want a square to serve me when I go to a restaurant. I want a square to be at the hospital helping my children get an exam. I want that. That's a square. The next one is a thug. A thug is that dude that's in the neighborhood and all he's doing is what he's doing. He ain't really doing much. He ain't trying to hurt nobody, but he's just out there doing his thing. You know, he's just bouncing with it. He's just moving with it, but he's not really doing nothing of importance to anybody. He's a thug. Doesn't make him a punk, because he'll fight you. It don't make him a chump, because he'll fight you and try to figure things out, but no real purpose. Then you have drug dealers. Drug dealers, I don't knock them, not because I've ever been on. I'm just saying, I don't knock them, right? But then you have drug dealers, and drug dealers do they do to get money. Their purpose is getting money. That's why they sell drugs. All right, cool. But then you have mobsters. Mobsters is a little bit different. Not that I would know, but I'm just saying mobsters are different. So a mobster is somebody who has been taught what makes America work, how it works. Because America is ruled by some damn mobsters anyway. I'm not talking hypothetically. Understand what I'm saying. Hear me out. So I'm sitting with my chief one day. I'm sorry, let me go through the levels. So you have the mobster. We're going to get into that. But then you have the ultimate in manhood, and that's being a businessman. One who understands all those different levels. So one day I'm sitting with my chief. I'm sorry, that's not true. One day I'm at home. I get a call from my chief. I get a second call from the chief. Yeah, I need to talk to you. I'm sending somebody to pick you up. You saw Houdini. Houdini was coming to get me, right? So I'm thinking, Houdini's coming? Do I need to bring a gun? Do I need to wear a vest? Like, I didn't know, but I knew I didn't do nothing wrong. I knew I had been honest and ethical, and I knew I had done my job. So, hypothetically, I knew I had done my job right. So I had no problem going. So long story short, we get to the chief's house. The chief walks out and says, "Yeah, let's take a walk outside, man. I can't talk in the house about what I'm going to tell you." I'm thinking, oh man, all right, let's go outside. We get outside. We're standing in the middle of the street. Nice neighborhood, though. We're standing in the middle of the street. He says, "Listen, how you doing? Everything good?" I said, "Everything's good, man." I said, "Make money?" I said, "Yeah, I make money. I can afford dessert when I go to a restaurant." Yeah. He says, "Okay, cool. Let me tell you something. It's time to graduate you. You need to understand certain things." That's okay. He goes, "First off, this is a money conversation. You need to put $25,000 aside. I'm going to need it tomorrow." I said, "Okay, no problem." He says, "No, that's not good. You need to ask me why. Why do I need $25,000 of your money?" I said, "Well, Chief, respectfully asking, why do you need $25,000 of my money?" He says, "Because you're in a lifestyle that has certain requirements. There's certain requirements to your lifestyle. The first one is known or identified as bail. In the event something should ever happen where you're sitting on the other side of the phone, you're gonna need bail money. Only a fool does what you do and don't have bail money." So that makes sense. Never thought of it that way, but yeah, that does make sense. So I need $25,000 tomorrow. It's all right. He said, "The second thing is this. I need $60,000 with that." I said, "You need $60,000? I'm counting in my head, right? I'm like, that's 25, that's $85,000, man." So I'm sitting thinking, whoa, I ain't got no cases. Never been shot, stabbed, locked up. So why I gotta give you $85,000, right? That's what I'm thinking to myself. So he says, "Well, Houdini is a detective. but he works for me. He's on my payroll. You need people on your payroll that'll work for you. So in the event you have a problem or you need some trash taken out, anywhere in the world, you can make a phone call and it will be done. So what you need is $60,000 for your Houdinis. That's okay, that makes sense. I mean, there was a benefit in having Houdini in the family. That's okay. He says, then I'm gonna need 40,000. I'm thinking, damn, hold up. That'll be 125,000. You're gonna need that tomorrow? He says, yeah, I am. I said, Chief, I gotta ask you, is there any reason I'm gonna give you an additional 40,000? He said, yeah, because you're gonna need a lawyer and you're gonna want a judge that's on the payroll. I was like, a judge on the payroll, huh? He said, you've seen it work? And then he started naming different cases that I may have hypothetically witnessed and what the outcomes were, right? So I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I see the benefits. So that's 125,000 I gotta give you tomorrow. He said, yeah, I made some appointments for you. I made some arrangements. I made some connections for you. Yeah. It's called a business insurance policy. I said, okay, I respect that. In other words, we have to know the quality and the nature and the caliber of business we're doing with our lives. It's not a game. Okay, number 6. Pedigree in class. Know your pedigree. Stay in your class, stay in your lane. In other words, and there's a reason I'm saying all these things. I'm responding to her text, but I want to give a foundation before I speak. Okay, so pedigree is real simple. You never underclass yourself and you never overclass yourself. You don't do that. Because people that are above you, that you're trying to rock with, what's going to end up happening is, unless they really got feelings for you and they want to bring you in, it's going to become obvious that you're jealous or you're envious. Because in all honesty, eventually jealousy and envy will take over when you overclass yourself. When you underclass yourself, you run the same risk. Because the people that are under you, they look at you the same way. They don't understand you. You don't talk the same, you don't joke the same, you don't laugh the same, you don't go to the same places. Who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are? You think you're better than me? Yeah. I'm trying to wrap this up. I'm almost done. The next one is jail. Now, why am I mentioning jail? What does that got to do with you? You're my beloved. You're not going to jail. You're a great mother. You're a great friend. But let me tell you why I'm mentioning jail. Who goes to jail? Only one type of person gets incarcerated, and that's convicted criminals. Or people who don't have bail money, or lawyer money, or judge money. You feel me? So what ends up happening is this, right? When a person goes to jail, that's not a reflection of who they are. That's a reflection of the decisions they made. Why am I mentioning that? Because when a person is incarcerated, for example, me personally, this is what my chief taught me. I put money on people's books around America that I've never met in my entire life. Why do I do that? Because I may need you one day. And I'm not going to ask you because I need you now. I'm not going to throw it in your face. I put money in your books. What I am going to do is let you know that you've been recommended. You definitely have been referred. And basically, the family would appreciate your assistance. Bottom line. But even if I don't need you today, the family would definitely want you to be well where you are. So here's $100 on your books, man. This is $200 on your books. Just put them. I don't mean to one or two people. I mean around the country. Why is that so important? Because there are times when you really honestly have to give. Which brings me to the next point, the power of money. The power of money is a very special thing. There was times, hypothetically, I wasn't there, but hypothetically, if I had been there was times when I could have been on the block one day, right? And we had females in the neighborhood that just would come to the block and ask certain people for money. They wasn't sleeping with them. They wasn't trying to sex them. They wasn't trying to game them. They wasn't playing games because they understood the consequence of being disrespectful. Playing games is disrespectful. So he understood what the consequences was. Houdini was walking the streets every day. Sometime in a squad car, sometime in his own personal car. Houdini was in that life. So what ended up happening, they would come to the block. I don't know, I've heard talk. They would come to the block, right? They'd be like, yo, I need some money. Can I have some money for the lights? Can I have some money for food? My children need this, that, and the other. And we would give the money away. We would give it to them. You know why? Because in all honesty, it comes down to the peanut butter and jelly philosophy. Let me explain that to you. I'm sure you've never heard it. And this is not just going to my beloved. This is to anybody who watches this video. The peanut butter and jelly philosophy is really simple. If I stop talking to you for like 2 weeks, I reach out to you in 2 weeks. I come by the house, I knock on your door, I ring the bell. And I'm telling you, listen, I was embarrassed, I didn't know how to bring it to your attention, but I haven't eaten for like 2 weeks, man. And in all honesty, I was wondering, can you please make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Now, I had no idea you had just gone shopping the night before. You just left Walmart. You got $300-400 worth of food just in the refrigerator, in your cabinets, and in your cupboards, and you got food. Y'all wasting food now. Y'all don't give a damn. Y'all got shrimp on the barbie, and you got lobster in the microwave. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing some weird shit, but y'all got it good though. So you're like, yeah, I'll make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, man. You've been solid with me. You've been cool with me. You've been doing your thing. Yeah, I'll make you some peanut butter and jelly. Matter of fact, I'll make you 3 or 4. Matter of fact, I'll get you some meatloaf, some macaroni and cheese, some collard greens, and the whole 9. All right. What's the whole point? You're not doing it because you're making a sacrifice. You're doing it because you have an abundance. Because you have an abundance of food, you don't mind sharing that. Now, listen, apply to what I'm just saying. We had an abundance of money they had an abundance of money on that block. So we didn't mind sharing that. But it gets deeper than that. There's a principle involved. Everything I'm saying has principles. The principle is this. If you give away more money than you have, you will always have more money than you give away. That's a spiritual principle. So I wonder sometimes, do people understand? You're not getting me. You're not beating me. I'm not your simp. I'm not your chump. You ain't tricking me. I answer to a higher power, man. I answer to a higher power for real. So what's going to happen is this, right? You're going to tell me, oh, yeah, I got an emergency that came up. I need like $500. I sit there and listen. But my decision was made before you even told me your story. See, I listen to God very seriously. See, God's the one that kept me from getting shot. God's the one that kept me from getting stabbed. God's the one that kept me from getting locked up, locked down, and just put away. There were times my car would be surrounded by federal agents, right? Surrounded, like 40, 50 feds up there. But my car was clean. My car was clean, right? And I had one of them tell me, I don't know how you keep getting away, but we're gonna catch you one of these days. I was like, you know what? I'll make sure I show up then, but until then, I'm a law-abiding citizen, officer. He didn't like that. What I'm saying is this. When you're doing things with a purpose, then you are obligated to receive the benefits of that purpose. When you violate your purpose, then you violate the laws of your creator. All right, let's move on. So, the power of money. Dropped that on already. Superior. So, my beloved told me one day, and she was so sarcastic. She is so sarcastic. Damn it, she is sarcastic as hell. She tells me, you think you're superior? And me being who I am, I'm like, nah, I don't think I'm superior, because I don't think I'm superior. I'm just that nigga from Brooklyn that God took a liking to, man. No, I'm not superior. Believe me, far from superior. And in the last week, I was doing some real true study and research, right? And when I was doing it, or while I was doing it, I realized a few things. I am superior. You know why I'm superior? because I obey the instructions of the superior authority of the universe. I'm not superior based on my own efforts and ideas. I'm superior because I submit my will to the will of my creator. That's superior. So it's not even a question of, I think it's all about me. No. I know me in ways you'll never know me. I know what's going on in my heart. I know how it feels to fuck up. But you only fuck up when it's on you, when it's your idea, when it's your plan, when it's your guesstimation. But if you get instructions from your creator and it goes wrong, then it's supposed to go wrong. But if you get instructions from your creator and you obey them and you comply, it'll never go wrong. It's divine. That's superior. It's not average, it's not common, it is divine. So let me go on. The next thing is this. Purpose. What is your purpose? If you had enough time and money, matter of fact, if you had all the time and money you could possibly ever want or desire, what would you do? Like, what is your purpose? What would you do? See, a lot of us are busy chasing the bag. A lot of us are so busy chasing the bag, we don't have time for anything else. Because I gotta go to work. I gotta. Yeah, okay, it's all about money with you. I mean, not my beloved because she's different. I'm saying she's different, not because she don't get on that bullshit, because she gets on it. But she's beautiful, she's sweet, she's gentle, she's kind. She's very thoughtful, very conscientious. I'm in love with her for a reason. I'm going to definitely get into that. But I got to tell you the truth. If your purpose is chasing money, consuming your time to chase a dollar bill, why are you going to college, girl? I'm going to college, get a degree so I can get me a good job. You spending 4 years to get a good job? That's the only way you can get money?